First, I'd like to recognize some of the officials and dignitaries that are here to help us recognize these very special groups of young people. I hope I get everyone. If I don't, please forgive me. I'd like to recognize Shelley Taub, who's an Oakland County Commissioner. Dr. Daniel Nerod is here with us. He's the Birmingham Public School Superintendent. The Honorable Judge Diane DiAgostini from the 48th District Court has taken time out of her docket, but I'm told she has to get back soon for a jury trial. Much more important. Chief John Studd is here from the City of Birmingham Police Department. He's our chief. Sean Ciavatone, who's the District Director for State Senator Marty Nolenberg. Henry Gembus, who's from David Trott's office. Jerry Rentschler, who is on the school board. And hopefully I haven't left anyone out, but as I said, please forgive me if I have. I'd now like to introduce Jim Van Dyke, who has helped me with this program for 5 years now. Come on up, more than that probably. I might mention to you that this program has been going on for many years, probably 20. I probably have been doing it for 15 years. We have two organizations now, Birmingham Youth Assistance and the Optimists, and we found that we were drawing from the same groups of kids. So 5 years ago, we decided to do this in conjunction with each other to sponsor this program. But this program itself has been going on at least 20 years with either the Optimists or Birmingham Youth Assistance. Jim Van Dyke is a local attorney who's held every possible position with Birmingham Youth Assistance you could imagine. He's been the president, the treasurer, he's currently a board member, and I've asked him to help me read the names of the awardees because, believe it or not, I can't talk continually. But I usually give it my best effort, but Jim is going to help us out with that. At this time, I'd like to recognize the fact that the certificates were provided by the Oakland County Commissioners, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, U.S. Senator Gary Peters and Debbie Stabenow, U.S. Representative Sandra Levin and David Trott, and State Representative Mike McCready and Marty Nolenberg. So, let's get on with the awards. Let's have all the middle school awardees come up and gather behind the table over here if you would. I'm going to call your names, but it's not going to be the same order that's in the program. We're going to do all the middle school people first. Very important. We need all the dignitaries to line up over here in a receiving line, if you would, please. I did forget to mention Joe Valentine, who's with the City of Birmingham. I'd like to ask him to come up as well. Sorry, Joe. Okay, our first honoree is Anthony Marks. Is Anthony here? Anthony is 13 years old and he goes to Derby Middle School. He's a junior honor society member and he tutors students after school in the academic support study hall. On top of Anthony being an incredible soccer player, he also does the following. He donates and organizes books, clothes, and toys for the Purple Heart. He sold fruit to raise money for Derby's music department. He sold pizza kits for Derby special education in the Links program. Thank you very much and congratulations. Next, I'd like to recognize Anya Uziblo. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Pretty close. Anya is 12 years old and she goes to Covington Middle School. She's always been interested in deinstitutionalizing hospital rooms and redecorating them in ways that are appealing and pleasing to the patients. Anya contacted Wish Upon a Teen to mobilize support for this effort. She organized 2 separate fundraising events, both with Brooklyn Pizza. Whether raising money to buy farm implements for rural Zambia or helping students with special needs, she always puts forth an extra effort. Her comments about her civic service contributions are, I feel that my contributions definitely made a difference with kids at Beaumont Hospital. My charitable actions did not only impact the less fortunate kids at the hospital, I've helped change the thoughts of the kids and adults alike. I noticed at my Wish Upon a Teen committee, some of the older students have now tried to make a more and better fundraiser. It feels good to make a difference one step at a time. Thank you very much, Anya. Next, I'd like to recognize Ethan Podolski. Ethan's 14 years old and he goes to Berkshire Middle School. Congratulations. Ethan has taught kindergartners the Hebrew alphabet. He's volunteered time and talents at a carnival to provide a fun-filled afternoon for young children at a synagogue, and he's helped to build a sukkah, which is a small house, to celebrate religious holidays. His comments about his civic service contributions are, I just thought it would be fun to help teach, and I kind of like smaller children. All of what I do because just as much as it benefits those who receive it, it makes me feel good to know that I've made a difference and a positive impact in someone's life. Thank you very much. Could we have Margaret Macdonald? Margaret is 13 years old. She goes to Berkshire Middle School. Congratulations. Margaret has helped to teach tennis lessons to people with disabilities every Sunday. She taught both teens and adults. She feels that volunteering is an important function because it helps you make a difference in the world. Her comments are, I feel people will learn to work with people with disabilities and learn to make a difference in the world. Thank you very much, Maggie, and I believe that you have made a difference. Our next middle school honoree is Antonio Nara. Antonio is 13 years old. He goes to Berkshire Middle School. Antonio's picked up trash in Detroit near Eastern Market. He's also volunteered his time to help organize envelopes for an event held at his church. He continues to put himself forward with regard to his contributions, and we hope that that will be something that he builds upon throughout his career. At this time, I'm going to ask that Jim Van Dyke read the next 5 individuals. Thank you.
Thank you, David. A brief editorial comment, if I may. Your booklet is a summary about these people, and we are reading a summary of the summary. And I had the pleasure of sitting next to the first young man I'm going to read about, and I hope you all had a chance to engage one of these honorees in conversation, because they're far more fascinating and complete people than these brief write-ups tell you about. So I'd like to invite up to the stage Cameron Jajani. Cameron is from Berkshire Middle School. I saw Jason Klickscale being very proud of him. Cameron has helped the community by volunteering at City Carnival to help people have a fun-filled day. He has also volunteered at his church since he was a little boy. He indicates it makes me feel good about myself when he volunteers. Thank you so much, Cameron. Next is Paige Tate from Derby Middle School. Good morning. Paige was instrumental in organizing and implementing a can drive to collect money for a local student who is awaiting a heart transplant. She has participated in a fun run to support a family friend with a brain tumor, volunteered at a Pontiac soup kitchen, served as a student counselor at Vacation Bible School, helped at Safety Town, and volunteered on other initiatives through student government and Girl Scouts. Join me in congratulating Paige. Next is Katherine Kiefer. Katherine is also from Derby Middle School. Katherine was instrumental in organizing and implementing a can drive to collect money for a local student who is awaiting a heart transplant. This is sort of deja vu all over again. Further examples of her service include participating in a fun run to support an animal shelter, volunteering at a Pontiac soup kitchen, helping at her Sunday school, and volunteering through student government, Links, Girl Scouts, and Safety Town. Thank you so much, Katherine. Next we have Sophia Erickson. Sophia is from Derby Middle School. She works with small children in her church nursery, has volunteered her time at a homeless shelter, and during the summer is a camp counselor at a Vacation Bible School. Sophia also is very involved with the Links program at Derby. She indicates, I volunteer because I enjoy caring for others. We're so glad about that. Thank you so much, Sophia. And now we have Miles Frierson. Good morning. Miles is last but far from least in the middle school. He is often called on at Derby Middle School to lead morning and afternoon announcements and volunteer his time to assist staff members during the day. He also helps tutor students in math. He volunteers at Forgotten Harvest, and he indicates, I feel that I am a better person for choosing to do this on my own, and we all agree. Thank you very much, Miles.
We we have a round of applause for all of the nominees for middle school? We're now going to recognize the high school students. I often comment that when I was in high school, it was all I could do to drag myself to football or swimming practice, sleep through the first couple classes, and then maybe get home and do a little bit of homework. These kids are doing amazing things. It's unbelievable. And we're going to try to give you a taste of the civic service projects that these kids have worked on. It's really, truly amazing. We're going to call up the first group. Well, first, can we have all the high school students come up, please? Again, these are not in the order that they were given in the program. The first is a group nomination through the Birmingham Bloomfield Community Coalition, and I'm going to ask Carly Casarisa, is that correct? Casenza, Grace Elliott, Natalie Lightman, Delaney Ryan, Charlotte Reeder, and I think that's all. That's everybody that's from the coalition. Is that correct? I'm sorry? You're the only one here. You'll represent. Come on over here. What's your name? Natalie. This is Natalie Lightman. She's apparently representing the entire group today. Again, they were nominated by the Birmingham Bloomfield Coalition, and they all are part of the Youth Action Board. They're dedicated, hardworking students who are involved in athletics, community service organizations, and other school activities, yet they make time to donate to the Youth Action Board, and their mission is a priority in their lives. Each of them has participated and volunteered to represent BBCC and the YAB throughout the years to their peers and the community in numerous places. For example, they do student recruitment at their schools. They have a Battle of Bands program that they put on. They have movie nights, Youth Dialogue Day, and they represent YAB in helping to raise funds for many community events. Please give a round of applause to Natalie. Next, I'd like to ask I'd like to recognize Elizabeth James. I believe she's not coming. She's from Marion School. Oh, she is here. Great. I have it in my notes that you're not coming, so I was misinformed. Glad you're here. Natalie is 17 years old, and she goes to Marion High School. Throughout her high school career, I may have the wrong note. Hang on. Did I say Natalie? Your name's Elizabeth, correct? Yes. Okay. Elizabeth James. I think I said Natalie James. Throughout her high school career, Elizabeth has been a member of the Southfield AKA Teens, which is a program of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. With AKA Teens, Elizabeth has spent every weekend over the past 3.5 years engaging in self-improvement activities and service to others. Some examples of this service include working with the elderly, helping to revitalize parks and other outdoor spaces, packaging food at Gleaner's Food Bank, serving the less fortunate at the Capuchin Soup Kitchen, collecting healthcare supplies for Medical World Relief, and volunteering at several community events such as breast cancer fundraisers and the Southfield Martin Luther King Jr. Walk. Elizabeth says that she's always wanted to be a doctor, and she feels that she can be the scar that forms to heal other people in need. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Elizabeth. Next is Jillian Wan. Jillian is 17, and she goes to the Academy of the Sacred Heart. Congratulations. When Jillian learned of the children in Syria who were in dire need of aid, she was compelled to do something. She had an interest in marketing, and she created posters, visited the other learning communities within the school, and encouraged students and parents from all grades to donate stuffed animals for the Syrian children. She actually founded a nonprofit organization that was willing to ship the boxes free of charge. This was a huge undertaking for Jillian, and she did it because it needed to be done. She was nominated by Gretchen G. Parks, who is her counselor. She's worked at the downtown Pontiac Holiday Parade. She's, as I said, organized stuffed animals for Syria. She's done Outreach 360 in Nicaragua, and she tutors children both during the year and in the summertime. Her comments about her civic service commitment is, "I've had the power to influence another person's life. That in and of itself is one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had." Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to bring up Sam Mcglynn. He's 18, he goes to Seaholm High School, and I promised him he wouldn't have to say anything today. Congratulations. Sam has a heart for people who are underserved. He has a great eye for seeing when somebody needs extra help, and he'll step in without being asked. His true talent is with talking with others. He hosts, his school hosts the South Oakland Shelter for a week in the winter. This year there were 35 people who were homeless, sleeping and eating at his church, not his school. Sam was there every night. His mission, he believes, as a deacon in his church, is to reach out to those in need, and the deacons do this in two ways. They serve with the church by providing coffee and treats at coffee hour, and the other focus for the deacons is on the community. Sam has given of himself to the shelter program and to his community, and we're very happy to have him here today. And now I'm going to ask Jim Van Dyke to come up and read the rest of the nominees from the high school.
The first individual is Ava Rhonda from the Academy of the Sacred Heart. Ava gives her time weekly to those who are confined to a local nursing center and hospital. She has a gift for interacting with ill and elderly patients. Because of her interactions with patients, she was required to take a TB test. Despite fainting, as the test was administered, she still carried on with her commitment. Although raised in the Jewish tradition, she participated in Catholic theology classes at Sacred Heart, sharing her perspectives and helping others understand Jewish beliefs and practices. She then took 2 classes of students to her synagogue to learn from her rabbi. Through Ava's engagement, many students were able to learn about different faith traditions. Thank you so much, Ava. Next, we have Mr. Burnham from Brother Rice High School. Brandon shares his talents as a gifted drummer with both his church and school communities. By playing joyful, uplifting music, Brandon has become a strong role model for teens. Brandon has also done volunteer work with the Christ Child House, a nursing home, and school functions. Brandon, we're very pleased to have you here today. Next is Laura Nagley. Laura is from Seaholm High School. I have a very indirect connection to her because I believe your mother coached diving at Seaholm, is that right?
No. My grandpa was the first principal at Groves.
Okay.
You might have.
My wife misinformed me, what can I say? Sorry. About Laura, through her church, Laura has traveled to Mexico to help build a school in the Yucatan, and she will do so again this summer. She has also served the local community through various church-sponsored activities with nonprofit organizations such as South Oakland Shelter. Again, please join me in thanking Laura for her service. No more editorial comments. Next, we have Daniel, Olenek. Could you pronounce your last name for us?
Olenek?
I did, not bad. Daniel's from Groves High School. Dan has acted upon opportunities available for Groves debaters to judge and critique novice debate rounds in the Detroit Urban Debate League. He spent 2 weekends beyond his own tournament competitions judging and critiquing novice rounds. Over the 2 weekends, Dan served for approximately 32 hours. He truly has been dedicated to improving the debating skills, techniques, and substantive arguments of first-year students engaged in urban debate. In addition, Dan has spent extra time with novice Groves debaters, coaching and instructing them with positive suggestions for improvement. He also helped a first-year forensic competitor with an idea for his oratory speech. Very good, Daniel. Congratulations. Now I get a group, and we're hoping they're all here. Jordan Palmer, Zachary Van Fousen, and John Stevens. These are, as you might guess, football players from Groves. As leaders on the Groves varsity football team, Zach, Jordan, and John spearheaded the second annual Victory Day, an event that pairs varsity football players with special needs students district-wide to engage in a football experience under the lights of the stadium to a crowd of loving friends and family. These young men have demonstrated that their participation was not simply for this event, but was a dedication toward a lifetime of inclusion. Beyond this, Zach, Jordan, and John have served as members of the Groves Links program, which works to unite general education and special education students in regular shared activities, including a biweekly lunch. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
I had these down as being for you. That's okay. We called up John Stevens. I believe we have Zachary. Emily Benderoff. Is she here?
Not here, but her mother is.
Hi, Mom. Wave. How are you? Congratulations. Emily's 17 years old, and she goes to Seaholm High School. Even though she's not here and her mother's here, I do want to recognize the fact that she spends 2 hours every week in the 7th grade in a one-on-one volunteer relationship with a child through the program of the school. She's formed lasting relationships with these children, helping them to learn and acquire life skills. She's also been the teen president of the Friendship Circle for the last 2 years. There's a C-Home Service Club called SOS, C-Home Offers Support. She's been the vice president of that group for the last 3 years, and she's helped to raise funds and initiate projects for families in need in the Birmingham and C-Home communities. The C-Home Links program serves as a peer advocate, and she serves as a peer advocate and mentor for high schools, and she also has worked with the Miracle League and Camp Make a Dream. We're very proud of Emily, and we're very proud that her mother's here today to recognize her. And we still have a certificate for her, so Mom, don't forget to come up and get it. Next, we'd like to ask Carly Salerno to come up. Carly is 18 years old, and she goes to Groves High School. She's in the 12th grade. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Carly started the summer of 2014 by assisting with the back-to-school drive for the Judson Center. She jumped right in and meticulously organized hundreds of school supplies and backpacks that were donated for the children at the Judson Center. By the way, I'd like to mention that she was nominated by Peggy Kerr, who has been a longtime friend and member of the General Citizens Committee for Birmingham Youth Assistance. Is Peggy here? Oh, there she is. Didn't see her. Peggy is nominated. When most kids are starting their weekends at 3 p.m. on Friday, Carly comes over to the Judson Center to assist the development team in a variety of tasks. They love having her can-do attitude and her breath of fresh air and enthusiasm with assisting on these projects. Carly has a natural leadership quality that will be a great benefit to her in her college studies and at the center. Carly indicates that she's also done volunteer work for Friends of Different Learners, an organization affiliated with the Birmingham Public Schools, whose goal also involves improving the lives of children and families with disabilities. She's tutored elementary and middle school students regularly at her school district's Saturday school. Congratulations, Carly. Olivia Ruiz. Olivia is 17 years old, and she goes to C-Home High School. She's an exceptional young lady who's devoted volunteer hours in many organizations. During her years of high school, she's traveled down to the Toledo Zoo almost every Sunday as part of the Toledo Zoo Teen Volunteer Program. She volunteers as a docent, providing zoo education to visiting families and children. She also assists with the state park cleanup and conservation, as well as community families and children. She's also helped with fundraising for Stars and Guitars, a scholarship fund for the Beaumont pediatric cancer survivors. About her civic service projects, Olivia states that every time I volunteer, I know that I'm making a difference in the lives of others. Thank you very much, Olivia. Next, could we have Cameron Fish? Cameron is 17, and he goes to Brother Rice High School. Congratulations. Cameron's been actively involved in volunteering with a number of service organizations. He spent many hours working for his church community as a counselor in training at Redeemer Summer Camp for Children, which is a Bible school. He's also done volunteer work at the Manresa Center, St. Vincent de Paul, the thrift store, his church's rummage sale, and 2 fundraisers for a school mission trip. He says that his contributions make a difference in the future because when I work with children, I'm hopefully giving them a positive role model to look up to as they grow older. His personal motivation is to partake of the service, to give of himself to the community, and for all the support that he's been given through his life, which is a comment that I particularly like because I often tell people, to those whom much is given, much is expected. Everybody in this room is a very privileged individual, I think, and none of us got to where we are on our own. We all had to have help from other people, and Cameron in particular recognizes that fact. Congratulations, Cameron. Okay, that concludes the presentation of the certificates to our various honorees. I'd like you all to stand and give, oh, wow, that's the Jane Parker Award. But thank you very much. Patience. We're getting there. Where was I? I was saying, everybody stand up and give these kids a round of applause. Great job, everybody. Now we come to one of the central parts of our program, which is called the Jane Parker Ward Award. This is an award that is given to a student that the committee believes has provided truly outstanding civic service contribution to their communities. I'd like to ask Dan DeBoer. Normally Sheriff Bouchard presents this award. Unfortunately, he's out fighting crime and can't be here with us today. But Dan DeBoer knew Jane Parker Ward very well, and he's going to tell you a little bit about her and a little bit about this scholarship program. So I'd like to introduce Dan DeBoer, who's from the Birmingham Optimists.
I'm so pleased that the General Citizens Committee named this award after Jane Parker Ward. She was a great influence on my life. I had just graduated from college. She had just retired. We had a lot of diversity between the two of us. I am 6'4", she's 4'11", age difference. I went to my first General Citizens Committee. It was me, Jane, I think Herb Duncan, who was a police officer, and the caseworker. And we were kind of falling on hard times. We were moving out of the city offices over to the Burnham Center, and the group had to be rebuilt. And I was so fortunate to have Jane Parker Ward as my vice chair. And she had so many contacts, and she taught me so much about Birmingham. One of the things I found going to her house was her favorite, one of her favorite heroes was John F. Kennedy. Right in the middle of her desk was Profiles in Courage, and she certainly was a courageous person. She was a librarian, and if that's not scary, I don't know what is. She had people in her, Gordy, you were one of the students in her class. I think she had a few comments to maybe not talk so much in library. Maybe not. Ed Pugh was on the Beverly Hills Commission. She would go there to ask for money every year, people that I know. But she was just a tough as nails lady and a strong leader, but always followed through, did the behind the scenes work. One of the other things that I found kind of fun was we would go to the school principals and ask for referrals for summer camp. We thought this would be a good opportunity for kids to get out of their home situation. Maybe they're just family troubles. It was kind of hard times back in the 70s. And some of the principals would say, well, we don't have any kids in our school that need help. And Jane Ward would look up at them and she says, I won't use their names, but she'd say, you know there's kids in the school that need help. And we got a nice group of kids to go to summer camp every year, and made a big difference in their lives. So I'm so pleased that this award is named after her. And the other thing that always comes up is Sheriff Bouchard talked about Profiles in Courage. He lived next door to her, but his dog liked to jump over the fence and eat her garden. She was a master gardener. And dig up her plants. And Sheriff Bouchard was afraid of Jane Parker Ward. So no further ado, I'd just like to give you a little feedback on who this fantastic person is. And if it wasn't for her, I don't think we'd be here today. Thank you.
As I indicated, every year we choose one individual whose civic service contributions are so outstanding that they truly separate themselves from the group. This year, I'd like to announce that this award is being given to Adrian Roberson. Adrian is 17. She goes to Marion High School. And along with the award comes a plaque as well as a $500 scholarship. Adrian's accomplishments are similar to what I was saying before, that it's unbelievable that if there's enough time in the day to do the things that she's done. They're so voluminous that I'm going to have to actually read them instead of kind of give them off the cuff. Adrian's family has instilled the importance of serving others through action, and she has lived that value throughout her life. As a child, Adrian began her service work by spending the holidays serving meals to the homeless and less fortunate with her family. As she grew, the family spent a great deal of time working with several organizations to clean up blighted neighborhoods in Detroit. Before beginning high school at Marion, Adrian joined Delta GEMS, G-E-M-S, a program of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. The Delta GEMS are a group of adolescent young women who work at actualizing their goals and dreams through active involvement in community service and service learning. Through the Delta GEMS organization, Adrian both continued the work with the homeless and less fortunate and expanded her service work to include working with children of the impoverished areas, including tutoring, engaging them in activities, and even planning large parties to give back to the children who had so little. With Delta GEMS, she volunteered at numerous charitable events in the Detroit area, such as fundraisers for the Detroit Inter-Alumni Council of the United Negro College Fund. Other activities with Delta GEMS included spending a great deal of time working with the elderly and working in gardens and urban farms in Detroit. In her first 3 years of high school, Adrian logged over 400 hours of service with the Delta GEMS organization. Her peers in Delta GEMS chose her to be the president of the organization this school year because of her deep and meaningful involvement. Additionally, Adrian spent several summers volunteering with the Summer in the City program in Detroit and earned a certificate of distinguished service from the organization for over 80 hours of work with children. Gardening, beautifying the city with artistic murals. Marion High School requires students to complete 40 hours of community service, and Adrian has far surpassed that requirement with over 500 hours of reported service. In a student body that regularly does much good for others, Adrian truly stands out. One of the things that was noted by some of her teachers was that when she's faced with an obstacle, Adrian finds a solution that will work no matter what. She feels that her contributions, though small, again, as was stated at the beginning by Mary Schusterbauer, many volunteers minimize what they do. And you can see that that's the case with Adrian, but truly, this is a great contribution that she's made. But those small efforts make a tremendous difference. Simply cleaning up someone's community, packaging or passing out food, hosting events to teach the skills, and even spending time with the elderly, homeless, youth, or anyone in need makes a difference. Adrian states that community service has been a part of her life since birth. She's been raised to give to others before giving to herself. From a young age, she began to work in the community with her mother and cleaned up abandoned neighborhoods in the city, served food on holidays to the homeless, volunteered in shelters and senior living homes, and dedicating her summers working with less fortunate children. We're truly proud to be able to recognize these accomplishments and award Adrian the Jane Parker Ward Award and a $500 scholarship. Thank you, Adrian. Second only to it's time to eat breakfast, people are probably glad to hear me say it's time for some closing remarks. I'd like to thank BYA and the Optimus members for their support and sponsorships. I'd also like to tell you about a few people who've made this event possible. First and foremost is Deidre Ryder, who is the Secretary for Birmingham Youth Assistance. She truly pulled this event together, and she does that every year. I do whatever she says to do, and it all seems to work out pretty well. Deidre keeps us on track with office operations. She's responsible for getting all the brochures together and the many letters written and communicating with various parties involved in this event. Say hello, Deidre. Youth Assistance is also very lucky to have Nikki Keller, who is our dedicated social worker. She's involved in implementing the ideas of Birmingham Youth Assistance and the Optimus as well into the real-world community. She provides the actual contact for the programs. She does counseling and support for the kids that are referred for the various services. I'd like to recognize Don Stutt, who's the police chief for the city of Birmingham, as well as our other municipal sponsors, Oakland County Circuit Court, Birmingham Public Schools, the city of Birmingham, Village of Beverly Hills, Village of Bingham Farms, and the Village of Franklin. Also the Oakland County Commissioners and all of the Birmingham Optimists and our many sponsors from both organizations. And finally, I'd like to thank the Community House for another fantastic event. I'm involved with many different events at the Community House. I've always considered the Community House to be a little gem for this community. The staff here does a great job, and I'd like to thank them as well. Finally, I'd like to say, if you like what we're doing here today, come and help us out. We need mentors. I'm in charge of the Mentor Plus program, which is an operation in Birmingham Youth Assistance for one-on-one relationships with kids who need a positive role model. The Optimists meet every Wednesday at 7:30. We have interesting speakers, and we put on approximately one event for children every month. The Optimists' motto is Friend of Youth. So again, if you like what we're doing, come and help us. We need people to volunteer for these situations. It helps you, as you've seen through the kids' comments, and it helps your community. Thank you very much for being here this morning.